why you don't remember falling asleep. Tonight, you're going to disappear. Not metaphorically, not spiritually, literally. At some point, you will close your eyes and there will be a final moment of consciousness. But you will never remember it. You remember getting into bed. You remember checking your phone. You might even remember the last thought drifting through your mind, but the exact moment you fall asleep is gone. And that's not an accident. That missing memory reveals something strange about how your brain shuts itself off. Because falling asleep is not like turning off a machine. It's more like losing signal while you're still talking. So let's start with a simple question. Why can't you remember the moment you fall asleep? After all, you remember waking up, you remember dreams, you remember the night before. So why is the transition into sleep always blank? The answer begins with something called the hippocampus. The hippocampus is the part of your brain responsible for forming new memories. Think of it as your brain's recording device. Every moment you remember today passed through that structure first. But here's what most people don't realize. The hippocampus shuts down before you are fully asleep. When you lie in bed, your brain doesn't power down all at once. Different regions go offline in stages. Your visual system slows. Your logical reasoning fades. Your sense of time distorts. And memory formation is one of the first systems to weaken. So there's a brief window where you are still conscious, but no longer recording. It's like being awake inside a room with no cameras. Anything that happens there leaves no trace. Neuroscientists call the early phase of sleep stage 1. It only lasts a few minutes. During this phase, your brain waves shift from fast, alert beta waves to slower alpha and theta waves. This is where thoughts start dissolving. Sentences fragment. Images blur into dreamlike flashes. You might feel like you're still thinking, but your brain has already begun disconnecting the circuits that stabilize memory. That's why falling asleep feels like drifting, because you are losing the ability to anchor yourself to continuity. And here's the strange part. You don't notice it happening, because awareness itself is fragmenting. In one study, researchers gently woke participants during stage 1 sleep and asked what they were just thinking about. Most gave vague answers. They said things like, "I was kind of thinking about work," or "I was imagining something." But they couldn't describe a clear sequence of thought. The mind was already dissolving into something less structured, less narrative, less you. But this phenomenon goes deeper than biology. It touches something philosophical. You experience life as a continuous story, moment to moment, thought to thought. But sleep exposes the truth. Consciousness is not continuous. It's stitched together. And when the stitching stops, even briefly, the thread disappears. The reason you can't remember falling asleep is the same reason you can't remember being anesthetized. The memory system goes offline before the lights fully go out. There is no final chapter, just a missing page. Now consider this. For most of human history, falling asleep did not happen in a quiet bedroom illuminated by LEDs. It happened under open skies, or beside firelight, or inside dark shelters where every sound mattered. Your ancestors didn't drift into sleep scrolling on glowing screens. They surrendered to darkness, and that surrender required trust. Because sleep is vulnerability. You cannot monitor danger while asleep. You cannot defend yourself. So your brain evolved to fall asleep gradually, not instantly. It lowers the drawbridge in stages. Sensory gates close slowly. Motor control fades. Memory recording stops. Only then does deep unconsciousness arrive, which means something unsettling. There is always a brief moment each night where you are no longer forming memories, but not yet fully gone. A silent corridor between worlds. and you pass through it every single night without ever seeing it. Modern life has complicated this process. Artificial light, especially blue light from screens, delays melatonin production, the hormone that signals darkness to your brain. Your biology expects sunset to mean decline. Instead, it gets stimulation. So when you finally lie down, your brain doesn't slip smoothly into stage 1. It jerks between alertness and fatigue. This is why many people feel like they can't fall asleep. But the truth is simple. You always fall asleep. You just never remember the moment it happens. Even insomnia follows the same rule. People who believe they lay awake all night often show, in sleep labs, that they entered light sleep repeatedly. But because memory formation was already impaired, they don't recall it. Sleep erases its own entrance. There's something almost poetic about that.
Every night, your consciousness performs a disappearing act. No applause, no curtain call, just silence. If you tried to stay hyper-aware, to catch the exact second you fall asleep, you'd fail. Because the effort to observe keeps the memory system active. The observer prevents the surrender. The more you chase the moment, the more it escapes. So what does this mean? It means that falling asleep is not a sharp boundary. It's a gradient, a fading, a slow dimming of the internal narrator. And the reason you don't remember it is not because it's insignificant. It's because it happens at the precise point where memory can no longer exist. You are conscious until you aren't, and there is no record of the crossing. Tonight, when you lie in bed, pay attention. Notice the final clear thought you can remember. There will be a sentence, an image, a fragment, and then nothing. That nothing is not emptiness. It's the oldest transition your brain knows how to perform. A ritual repeated every night of your life. A disappearance so ordinary that you never question it. Until now. And when it happens again tonight, you won't remember it. You never do.